fall, but we are standing tall. This Mother Russia will never die. Nothing our lies, that's where we have hearts. It's just a shining bright until your love stop with that power to fight. Crimson God, you came to lead us now into the blaze of victory immortal. Crimson God, stop the evil that keeps behind. It's gonna lose, but standing is on our side.
Здравствуйте, товарищи, and welcome to a video log I'm going to do. I'm coming to you right now because there's a lot of things I want to talk about. I actually got some pretty interesting responses from my last video log, and I've also been doing a lot of stuff that I'd like to talk about, I guess. But first off, I have to say that I'm having major problems with YouTube. I have no idea what's going on, and a couple days ago they've got this new uploader system or something like that, and for some reason it's not converting my files to YouTube or whatever is going on. And I've tried, I'm still trying to upload parts 44 and 45 Empire Total War, and I've tried uploading them using, though I never changed my process at all of how I upload videos and how I export them and publish them. And all of a sudden, YouTube is not recognizing this. And so I've tried using multiple different formats, video formats, multiple different encoding programs, and still nothing. But for some reason, these vlogs seem to go through, and I don't know why, and it's making absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. And I can't tell if it's a problem on my end, but I'm really thinking it's a problem on YouTube's end because they changed their uploader and it looks different now, and I'm assuming it interacts differently, and it's just really driving me nuts. But people from my last vlog said they gave me a bunch of topics that I wanted that they wanted to hear me talk about, and I'm not going to kind of go over the most frequently said ones because there's a lot of different stuff, but I'm just going to go over some stuff that I find interesting and some stuff that I've kind of been thinking about recently. And I'll probably break it down into two vlogs. One is going to be, this one is just a lot of sort of cosmic, sort of universal, really out there stuff that I've been thinking about. And the next one is something I've been mulling over in my head, and that is a thesis of mine that almost that capitalism and communism are not so different in very key ways, and I'll get into that. But right now, there's something I want to talk about, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, that when I was younger, and still a large part of me desperately wants to be a physicist, and it's not like I took physics in high school. I took grade 11 and grade 12 physics high school, and I did very well, but it wasn't the kind of stuff that I was interested in. I was really interested in the big, sort of really out there, really abstract kind of physics, like, you know, Large Hadron Collider and beginning of the universe and so on and so forth. But grade school physics was like, you know, take this bottle and then you drop it on the floor, and then you find out how long it took for the bottle to come from here to here, and so on and so forth. And I know those are the basic elements of physics, and I know that you need those to progress on to these more advanced levels, but I don't know, I guess I just couldn't stomach through these little things. But me and a friend have been talking a lot about various abstract physics ideas and universal ideas, and also a lot of what I know comes from Carl Sagan. And if you have any idea who this guy is, you know, good for you, but if you don't, you should definitely look him up. He does a fantastic and amazing and absolutely enthralling series of documentaries called The Cosmos. And these are kind of old though. I think they're like 70s-ish. but I found a guy who seems to have uploaded them all to YouTube, so if you want me to pass that along, definitely look this guy up, because he does some absolutely amazing work, and I think he's one of the greatest scientific minds of possibly all time. But anyway, me and my buddy were talking, and I was trying to explain to him the concept of the fourth dimension, because there's various different theories about the fourth dimension, and from what I have heard and what I've studied, that basically for us to try and explain, there's two basic theories. That for me to try and explain what the fourth dimension is, I could never do it. I could never show you the fourth dimension because we're stuck here in the third dimension. This is where we are. It would be like someone in the second dimension who only knows the words left, right, and back and forth, but they have no concept of up and down. It would be as if they were to try to point to the direction up. The direction up doesn't exist to them. It's completely an abstract and incomprehensible idea to them. Like, they cannot show you where the direction up would be. But that doesn't mean they can't necessarily think about what the third dimension is and where the third dimension is, because basically how we represent the third dimension often is a cube. And in the second dimension, this cube is a flat square. It's just a square. But then, when you bring this square up in right angles and straight lines, straight up in the new direction is at the third dimension, up and down, it becomes a cube. And this cube is basically, a square. It's all equal sides. It's all right angles, and this is now square turned into a cube. And we can represent that in a second dimension. We can draw a cube out, because a cube projects a shadow. And we can draw this cube out onto a piece of paper. And when when you draw it out, that it's the two squares, and then you're connecting the lines to connect these two squares, and this is like drawing. This is a representation of the third dimension in the second dimension. But in the second dimension, this representation of the cube is not perfect, because in reality, all the lines in this cube are equal, they're all right angles, but when you project it into the second dimension, they're all lines. The lines aren't equal, it's not all right angles, it just doesn't look right. So you can never show someone in the second dimension a cube, but you can project it and you can think about it. And it's the same as in this dimension. If we were to talk about the fourth dimension, if we were to take this cube and take all its vertices and all its lines and project them out another direction that doesn't exist to us in all right angles and all straight equal lines, we could make this this other cube in the fourth dimension. And we can't necessarily show what this cube would look like, but we can draw a shadow of it, because it would create a shadow and it would create a projection into this dimension. And basically what it looks like is a cube inside a cube. And I don't know why, I just find this stuff incredibly compelling. And I was trying to explain this to my friend, and I don't know if he got it. I don't know if I explained it as well as per se Carl Sagan did, but I tried on the vlog. But there's also another theory on the fourth dimension, that it's not actually a direction, but we already presently live in it, and the fourth dimension is time. So we live in the directions of length, width, height, and time, and you can manipulate time to go either backwards or forwards, but you cannot change. Like, time is a stream, and you can go backwards and forwards and whatever direction on the stream, but you can't change what happens on it, and you can't change what happened in the past. That it's impossible to alter the stream, but you can travel in different directions through it. And essentially what that would mean is that if we went back in time, it would be our present. So if I say I were to go back in time and visit myself back in time, that would be my present and my past that I would have visited myself, and it would be like what would have happened to me when I was younger, if that makes any sense. So those are the two sort of theories on this fourth dimension, and other stuff that I've been just looking at. I gotta cut this off, so just a sec.